Hello, this is the Breville Barista Express. I'm just going to do a quick demo video showing you how it works and making a coffee on it. So I've just turned it on and I've added some beans and water. Usually it takes about 40 seconds, maybe a minute to turn on and warm up. It's already warmed up. I'll grab my mug. So the machine is in pretty good cosmetic condition. I mean, not too many dents or dings. There are some scratches here and a few small dings here and here. Not too bad on the right hand side or the back or the left hand side. Some wear and tear on the base here. And because I've cleaned it recently, the labels have come off. So this button says filter size. This is the single and the double. So you keep it on single to grind 1 dose or double to grind 2 doses. This is the program button. This is the 1 cup button. This is the 2 cup button. That's why I've pressed it cheaper than others, because of the label and the wear and tear. That's one of the reasons why it's cheap. So this is the clean me light. This is the steam and hot water light. So when the machine requires a clean, this light will come up. When you're steaming or when you're doing hot water, this light will come up. The other reason why the machine is so cheap is that occasionally when the machine is hot and after a few shots, it tends to make a noise with the solenoid valve. The machine works fine, it pulls pressure fine, it just makes a noise. I think it requires a few more cycles of descaling. I've given it a descale and it still hasn't gone. So that's why it's a bit cheaper. The machine still works fine, and I'm going to demonstrate that it can pull full pressure. Firstly, by using the cleaning disc that I have. So I like to run a blank shot just to warm things up. So I'll warm up the cup, the handle, and the machine itself by running a blank shot. It'll also clean any dirt that I have. Keep an eye on the pressure gauge. That's full pressure. We'll do that again. It's really erratic. I mean, sometimes it makes a noise, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of the time it does though. It pulls full pressure, no fine, no leaks, no problems with the pump. It's just that the solenoid valve is a bit dirty. It still does close, the valve, but because I think it's a bit dirty, so it makes the noise. At least that's what I think it is. So I'm gonna put this on the side. Maybe I'll run one more shot. So that was the 2 cup button. These are volumetric, so you can adjust them by volume, by pressing program, then pressing the button. And when you're happy with the volume that you got, you press it again. There we go. Now it's saved that volume. I'm going to put this on the side now that the mug is full of hot water. I'll show you that everything else works. So hot water spout works fine. You can use this for, making Americanos, long blacks, brewing tea. What I use it for is, I like to add sugar to my cup, so I use this to add some hot water to my cup, just a little bit, so that I can dissolve any sugar or hazelnut syrup or something. Let's test the grinder now. So I've dried the portafilter after the blank shot. It's hot now, which is good. I've dried it and I've set the grind size here on the left to number 6. That's how fine or how coarse you want to grind your coffee. I've set this, I believe you keep it at number 6 to get a single shot. So it's at 6 o'clock, I mean. I have a scale here to confirm and sort of calibrate the machine for you. You don't really need a scale to use a machine like this, but it does take a lot of the guesswork out of the equation. So. Cool. That's a lot of coffee. I don't know if it's 6 o'clock. Yeah, that's about 11. So I'm gonna press it down. I like to do it at 2 stages, even when I'm doing a double shot. That way I can tamp it down, sort of make the process less messy. So that was 11. I guess this should be 9 grams. Yeah, I guess if you keep it at 3 o'clock and keep this at number 6, you'll be getting 9 grams. If it's more than 18, you'll have difficulties putting the handle into the machine. So that's about 17. I'll add a little bit more. Yeah, that's 18. I'm happy with that. So once you've ground, flatten it out with your finger or with your palm. Clean the edges. Once you think it's roughly flat, get the tamper, press it down firmly. Just like that. A good rule of thumb for me is that if you don't have a scale, when you press down, the tamper should go as deep as this silver bar here. So just like that. That's sort of what Breville recommends. That's about 7 millimeters. For most coffee types, this is about 18 grams of ground coffee. So just like that. Make sure it's even, it's flat. Twist it to give it a polish and take it off. There we go. That's how deep it should be. Don't overfill it, don't underfill it. Especially with this type of coffee machine. It needs to be sort of properly done to get a good cup. I'll screw it in. Usually it's about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock here. If you have the right dose, it should go all the way. Here's my mug. I'll dump out the hot water. I'll grab some hot water from here. For some sugar. Cool. So let's do the espresso part now. I'm going to calibrate my cup just to program the button for you. I'm not exactly sure what pressure we'll be getting. I think we should be getting about 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. That's actually the range that I recommend for this machine. Around 11 o'clock here, all the way to 1 o'clock. About the top part. That's where you get the best results in terms of quality and taste. If you get more than that, that's probably because you've ground way too fine, or that's probably because you've put way too much coffee in terms of the dose. If you get too little pressure, that's probably because you've ground way too coarse, or you've dosed too... Sorry, I think I should rephrase that. If the machine is maxing out on the pressure and you're not getting a lot of coffee, and it's coming out in black drops, that's probably because you've put way too much coffee in the handle, more than 18 grams, or the grind size is way too low, so it's way too fine for the machine to push the water through. If it's the other way around, if you're not getting a lot of pressure and the coffee is coming out very quick and gushing out of the spouts, that's probably because you've put too little coffee in the handle, less than 18 grams, or the grind size is way too high, or way too coarse. That's why I recommend getting a scale, so you get the quantity out of the equation, so you only have to adjust the grind size. And also, fresh beans are easier to brew, so if you're getting bad taste or bad pressure, it's probably because you have stale beans. Okay, let's do the double shot now. And to program that, you press program and then you press the double cup, the 2 cup here. I can judge what 40 grams looks like by eye. 40 grams is the recommended, around 36 to 40 grams is what's recommended for a double shot. You can use that with a scale, you can eyeball it, you can use like a small espresso cup that has the measurements on it in milliliters. I'll just use my eye, so. Also keep an eye on the pressure gauge, it should be around 12 o'clock, like I said. I'll stop it there. So that was only at 10 o'clock, a bit low. I have programmed the volume to 40 grams, so that's 40 grams, very good. If you do run it again at finer settings, or maybe a bit more dose, you probably will get a better result. So maybe just for now, I will set it at grind size number 5 for you. There we go, that's very fine. So that's number 5. Keep it at number 5, keep it at 3 o'clock, hopefully you should get good pressure. It's still drinkable, it still has the crema and has all that, but it's not the best. So I recommend for you to get the best shot, you should aim for about 12 o'clock on the pressure gauge. Let me do the milk now. So I've got my jug here. I recommend you get a stainless steel jug. If you don't have one, it's fairly cheap at the shops, $10 maybe. And anything that conducts heat, so ceramic, glass, should do the trick temporarily, but don't use plastic because you need to feel the temperature. I'm going to put it on steam. It will take about 20 seconds to start steaming. Give it a few more seconds, it will become even stronger. The technique I'm going to use to steam is I'm going to insert the wand sort of at an angle, and I'm going to keep it close to the surface. That will inject the air, and I'm going to hold that position for about 20 seconds. The longer you keep the steam on close to the surface, the more air you will inject, and the frothier you will get. So cappuccino is more, flat white is less. And also listen to the sound, make sure it's hissing and not screaming. So I'm going to turn it off. Very quickly, you have about 5 seconds to insert the milk wand into the jug. There we go. I'm going to hold this position for about 20 seconds. Then I'm going to lift it. Now I'm only heating up the milk and I'm not injecting any more air. I'm I'm gonna keep it like this, swirling the milk in a vortex, just like before. From now, I'm not injecting any air, and I'm gonna stop it when I can't touch the milk jug for more than half a second. That's sort of about 60 degrees Celsius. So now I can't touch it, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to quickly grab a wet towel. Also, you need to purge it to make sure the milk doesn't stay on the inside. I'm going to grab a wet towel here. Very important you wipe it straight away, otherwise the milk will stick and it'll be very difficult to remove later on. It might also clog your machine, so you need to clean it when you're done with the milk. That's it. Now it cooled down and we're back to espresso mode. Here's my jug. I'm gonna knock it down to break any bubbles. Swirl it around to mix it up. Knock, knock, knock. Swirl. Simply like that, and mix your espresso just briefly. Yum. That's closer to a cappuccino than a latte. That's fine. Cool. So that's my espresso. Sorry, that's my latte. I'm sure it tastes amazing because I've just had a taste. Hope you enjoy the machine, and I'll see you very soon. If you have any questions, always feel free to ask me. Happy to answer any queries. Cheers.